The Toff entry introduces a new paradigm for a new user landing zone. Instead of dropping the new user into a city where they can be overwhelmed by the environment, the Toff entry drops the new user into a Stonehenge-inspired structure in a forest. This landing zone presents the new user with two options for discovering and learning about the alpha world environment. The first option is designed for the new user that wants to investigate on their own. This option offers just a few hints on how to explore, allowing the self-guided new user to begin their exploration adventure with almost no learning. The second option to the right of the gate takes the new user on a 21-step sequence intended to provide the user with the basics of movement and getting around in Alpha World. This option is the suggested option for new users, with the understanding that some users will not seek training or instructions when they arrive. This option ends with a few basics about building and a small tribute to Alpha World and its builders. In addition to these two options, just outside the gate there is a cozy campfire for the people who like to just come and hang out by the landing zone and talk. The location of the landing zone structure has been conveniently located on an island next to two forms of infrastructure that a user will interpret as a natural path away from the starting point. One of these is the Toff Northwest Railroad, which is a complete loop of the original Ground Zero. It links builds that are about 2,000 to 3,000 clicks out from the center of the environment. The other is a long contiguous highway called Route KT10 that currently covers an area about 5,000 clicks from the Toff Museum to the West Meridian Rail Station. This assortment of paths away from the landing zone provides the new user with a great way to get to a number of interesting builds, allowing their initial exploration to be a positive experience. As an example of a new user-first experience, we will leave the landing zone and follow the steps leading to the railway, turning left to explore the tracks. A short way down the tracks, the user crosses a waterway and experiences a desert with a number of vintage builds in the distance. This highlights the age and diversity of building designs in this environment, while also showing the new user examples of less complex builds. Builds that may be more like something they could do with limited experience. Returning to the rail line and continuing further down the rail, the user encounters the outer perimeter of the Toff air cave installation. This introduces the user to high Z-axis building and the use of moving gates or flying through objects. Once inside the perimeter, the user is exposed to a large complex build employing a number of the tools used in the active world's environment. This area is complete with helicopters, wind turbines, a bowling alley, a particle emitter fountain, and a moat with sharks. This area is also another three-way rail intersection, giving the user plenty of options for continuing their exploration adventure. Should the user elect a different direction from the railroad junction, other similar builds will be encountered. This includes a rather substantial suspension bridge over a river, and an open range with a farm, parts of Redoubt's Idea Yard, and taller city.